Hello students, here comes your last lecture for the topic bird migration. Then we will proceed in the other lectures. In the forthcoming lectures, we will discuss navigation. So bird migration I will complete in this lecture. So be attentive and let's start. In the last lecture, I had told you about the nocturnal migration, the birds which they migrate during the night. Some birds which migrate during the day are very easy to study because there's light and they're visible and you can see they're traveling from where to where. But in the night, it is difficult to study the process of bird migration. And there are at least 5 field methods of studying nocturnal migration. Scientists and the workers, they have sought out ways to study bird migration in the night, because you feel when you are studying about some subject, you feel inquisitive, and then when you are very keen to do it, then you know the ways and means of doing it. So people have come out with the ways and means of studying nocturnal migration. The first is by observations of movements across the face of the moon. The principal equipment needed is a telescope. The birds crossing the face of moon are counted. So this is the way they can know how many birds or which birds are migrating during the night. Second, by radio tracking. The equipment needed includes a transmitter and receiver. Radio telemetry you must be knowing. When a bird cannot be followed visually, it may be equipped with a maintained radio transmitter, which is either put around the neck or stuck with an adhesive to the skin of the back between the wings. The transmitter is then monitored by a receiver and the movement of the bird is charted. Third, by radar. This requires the use of a special facility operated by skilled technicians. This also requires implantation of transmitters which sends out signals. These signals are caught by the radar. Fourth, by tape recording. Besides the tape recorder, this requires parabolic reflector, microphone and amplifier. This is used to estimate the number of migrating birds by tabulating the call notes heard at night, and this is done by chip counting. The fifth method is by the study of migrants killed at television towers or as a result of airport ceilometers or other man-made interference with migration. The last and most popular method of studying by bird migration is by banding. There are many schemes for banding, called ringing in Europe. Migratory birds throughout the world all involve the use of metal leg bands, systematically numbered and carrying an address to which the recoverer of the banded bird may report. The birds can be banded or recognized into following ways. First, colored plastic leg bands. Various combinations of colored plastic bands enable to identify individual birds visually without having to recapture them. By devising a coding system, example, green band on the left leg of one bird, green band on the right leg of another, green and yellow bands on the left leg of still another, etc., etc. A wide variety, this was the method of studying migration by banding the birds. Now the next method is a wide variety of markers have been devised for studying large migratory birds to enable their recognition from a distance. Most such markers consist of plastic tags of different colors hanged around the bird's neck. The third method, sometimes tags made up of colored plastic are attached on the bird's bill by a very thin nylon thread through the nostrils called nose tag. Birds may even be feather marked by coloring the feathers with different colors. When it is desirable to mark birds which cannot for one reason or another be captured, it is sometimes possible to spray color with the help of a water pistol. Then next topic is the advantages of migration. I think this is the last topic we are taking in migration, and what are the advantages of migration. First, securing of a better climate for living. For the birds, the advantage of migration they achieve. The advantage by migrating, they achieve a better climate for living. If all the birds that migrate should instead remain in their winter quarters the year round, then they and non-migratory birds would make great demands on the food supply, and many birds might have difficulty in nourishing their young. However, by alternately exploiting two different habitats for food, more birds are able to exist. Third, by changing their habitat twice each year, birds probably obtain benefits comparable to those provided by edge effect that are so valuable to static population. Geographic wandering makes possible greater variety in birds' diets and probably more nourishing diets as well. The long summer days provide birds with longer working hours to gather more food to feed more young. Sixth point, the pressure of predation is divided among a greater number of eggs and young, and this results in a proportionally lower annual mortality. Seventh, parasites and infectious microorganisms are reduced in abundance in far northern habitats as a result of long cold winters. Physiologically, migration makes possible a sort of external homeostasis which enables birds simply by traveling to avoid some of the harsher extremes in physical and biotic environment. Finally, migration provides certain genetic and evolutionary benefits. A long distance migrant is subjected to different kinds of natural selections in its breeding grounds, its winter quarters, and while on journey between the two habitats, certainly migratory birds are subjected to greater ecological diversity. Therefore, they have a greater range of adaptability than resident birds. Last point, 10th point, migration promotes the geographic dispersal of birds. Insofar as dispersal may isolate small populations of a species from each other, it tends to increase the rate of evolution in that species because genetic variation or mutation makes a greater impression on a small population than on a larger one. This finishes your topic of a very interesting topic of migration, and hope you must be feeling very inquisitive about knowing more about the process of migration in birds. So you can read the books which I have mentioned in references in the first lecture. You can go through those books and have more knowledge of this very interesting topic. Thank you.